Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on DNTV, and today, as you can see, I have a different background for the podcast type videos. As we bear with me as I am still working on redoing things a little bit and moving forward with a different kind of videos you'll see. I'm going to try to still do a couple like gaming videos here and there, but it's going to be mostly about sports in the future. So a lot of things are in the work right now, so you just bear with me, and I appreciate all of you who continue to watch my videos in light of changing up things a little bit. But today, going into Sunday football, I wanted to cover some things that came out this morning and our record so far in the week 1 predictions, which so far we are 2-0. The Chiefs did beat the Ravens, and on Friday the Eagles did beat the Packers, so we were 2-0. However, so far after even these two games, I think the illegal formation penalties that they are doing against the offensive line, from what we've seen so far, I think they're a little excessive and a little lot, and I get it. They're trying to kind of balance out the difference between the advantage over the offense over the defense, which if you see, always the tackles always lined up a little bit back so he could get a bit of an edge on the defensive ends and the people rushing on the sides, which is fine. It's fine, but it's being called a lot. Like, they are not fucking around with it this year. I mean, even with the Ravens and Chiefs game, I thought it was called way, way excessively, because I think in the first drive for the Ravens, they got it called against them like 3 or 4 times, and I mean, I get it. All you got to do is tell the tackle, move the fuck up. But I think it's being called quite a bit. And right now, obviously, with it being a new rule, it's gonna happen that way, and it's gonna happen a lot. But hopefully, it smooths out in the games to come, in the weeks moving on from this, and that we don't see that very often, except here and there. But I think right now it's a little excessive, but so far we are, like I said, 2-0 in the predictions, and hopefully we'll see how this week goes. And I will make another video on Tuesday about how our record resulted this week, and I will cover what I thought about Monday Night Raw. So coming up with a week 1 news so far before the games are starting. Tyreek Hill this morning got detained for a minor traffic violation. According to reports, he got into a verbal altercation after being cited for reckless driving outside of the stadium hours before their game. And I think they're one of the later games, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they're one of the later games. But he is still expected to be active today, and he is still expected to be playing. However, you gotta wonder if that's going to be in his mind to start the game. However, once he gets going, I believe once he gets going and once he gets in the motions and gets going, I think it'll kind of go back to the back of his mind, and he won't worry about it as much. But however, you got to think the hours before the game now, once he gets out and he starts warming up for the game, you got to think he's gonna be pissed about it, and he's gonna be thinking about it. And obviously, you know, with somebody of his caliber, with somebody of his known stature, you got to think that he probably was in a sense like, dude, I'm Tyreek Hill. I mean, why? You gotta think he had to probably have had, I would assume he would have had to have had that little bit of a kind of a mindset like, dude, I'm Tyreek Hill. We're right outside the stadium. Like, I'm going to work. My face is probably up there somewhere. Like, come on. which probably is what resulted in the verbal altercation, and then assuming the cop detained him. However, sometimes with that situation, sometimes with it, if you don't agree with it, when they want to cite you for something, you just gotta be like, okay, all right, man, no worries. You know, even if you don't agree with it, you just gotta accept it, because then you're gonna escalate the situation a lot worse than what it should be. But you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, he made the choice and is gonna have to deal with it, which hopefully, like I said, hopefully that doesn't affect his game too much today. Either it's going to affect his game and he's not going to play as well, or he's going to be playing angry all day and he's going to go nuts during their game against the Jaguars, which I have the Dolphins winning against the Jaguars anyway. But moving on, Dak Prescott, hours before the game, signed a huge 4-year, $240 million extension, which averages out to about $60 million a year, just hours before the game. Now, it's good that they got it done, especially before week 1. Well, I mean, hours before the game week 1, I should say. Even hours, it's still before they can go out there and let it be a distraction. You know, obviously now it's going to be a determination on whether or not he deserves to be paid like that, and deserves that if he can actually get something done in the playoffs, which the Dallas Cowboys have not advanced past the divisional round since 1995, I think I saw. So hopefully he can go out there and he can prove that he's got what it takes, and show them why they were right in giving him that kind of money, especially after giving CD Lamb his extension this year too. But I would look for Dak Prescott to be very good, to be good today. Obviously we have them winning against the Browns at Cleveland. But I would look for him to try to put even higher of a career numbers than what he did last year, because I think he had a really good season last year, quarterback-wise, in the regular season. But now that he's got that done, hopefully it's going to be out of his mind now, and hopefully he's going to be excited that finally I got this extension, I'm done, it's over, and now we look on to football. In that same aspect about contract-wise, Jamar Chase is active today despite having a designation of illness or something like that. But he did say that Jamar Chase did say that he was designating himself as a game time decision, despite whether or not he himself wanted to play, despite not having a contract or not, contract extension or not. And obviously they have not got it done yet, and they have not signed him to an extension. However, he is playing today, and I would assume that they are going to ease him into the game, considering, like I said, they've said that he's been battling an illness or something, but I would assume that Jamar Chase is going to go out there and try to have the best season of his career, even the best game of his career, to try and prove that he needs that money and that they need to sign him to that money. Because Jamar Chase is a very good wide receiver, so he is still playing. T. Higgins, however, is out, so he will not be there either. I mean, he will not be playing either. Keenan Allen, on the other hand, is active today after dealing with a heel injury, I believe, for Chicago. They look for the Bears to... It's good for them that they have him up. And I have the Titans coming in and winning anyway. But hopefully that isn't going to affect him too much. But next, finally, in the Atlanta and Steelers game, Russell Wilson is listed as questionable. However, it is reported that Justin Fields will start today after Russell Wilson has been dealing with a calf strain from the offseason that he's been battling since the offseason, or since the preseason, and a little farther back from that, I think. But this kind of puts Justin Fields in a good position to possibly take control of that starting spot and prove that he is going to be the Pittsburgh starter. Because obviously, if he has a really good game and going into next week after him having a good season, why wouldn't you give him another shot? I mean, they're still looking for their quarterback, and obviously Russell Wilson is not going to be their long-term solution. He is on a 1-year veteran minimum after Broncos have to pay him a lot of money this year. But if Justin Fields can prove that he's improving and he's moving forward, he can be a really good quarterback. Why wouldn't they look at him like he's our franchise guy? Because I mean, he's still only 27, I want to say. Yeah, he's 25. Wow, he's only a year older than me. Wow. Anyway, so he's only 25. I mean, he's got many, many years of his career in the NFL ahead of him. So if he can go out there and he can prove this year, because he's on a 1-year deal as well, I believe. You go out there and you prove that you can be their guy. I mean, go get that contract in the offseason for hopefully Pittsburgh looks at him and be like, all right, he's our guy. Let Russell Wilson walk after that. Be like, thanks. We appreciate it, and give Justin Fields a big contract, and at least a bigger contract to have that guy, because obviously they haven't done well in the search for their quarterback so far. Even bringing in Mitch Trubisky and letting Mason Rudolph walk in the offseason to the Titans, and then drafting Kenny Pickett. But obviously Mike Tomlin has said before that we want volunteers here, not hostages. And as soon as Russell Wilson was signed, Kenny Pickett obviously kind of took it as I'm assuming kind of said things that were like, I don't want to be here anymore, screw that, I'm not competing with him for the starting job. And then he got traded on the spot to a place where he is going to be the backup for the rest of his career until just Jalen Hurts gets injured or wants to leave. It's the only way he's seeing the field. I mean, but I look for the hope that Justin Fields is their long-term search, or you look to somebody in the draft. I don't really know for sure what kind of quarterbacks are coming in the draft this next year, but we'll look at that when we get closer to the draft. However, but yeah, in that same aspect for Pittsburgh, Pat Freiermuth signed a 4-year, $48 million deal. I had it written down here. Yeah, 4-year, $48 million deal to stay in Pittsburgh through the 2028 season, which I really like to see it. Love to see it, because Pat Freiermuth, with a good quarterback, I think he could be a really good tight end for Pittsburgh. And obviously you got guys like Darnell Washington and Connor Hayward behind him, but Pat Freiermuth could potentially be their solid tight end. I mean, obviously right now he's not going to be up there like Travis Kelce and other tight ends that are huge like that, but he could be there eventually. With a good quarterback and a solid offensive scheme, and obviously Arthur Smith's offenses are usually very, very tight end friendly. I could see him getting a lot of snaps finally in his in the offense. So he didn't get as much as I would have liked with Kenny Pickett under quarterback, but that is neither here nor there now, because now we got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields at quarterback. And obviously, if you'd have told me that a year ago, after our quarterback room was Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and Mason Rudolph, and you told me that Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen would have been our quarterback room next year, I'd have been like, huh? What you talking about? That's bullshit. Yeah, you lying. But I see for Pittsburgh to try and get their offense kind of fluid today. And now that they had, I think, towards the later end of the week, they were working on putting the offense into a good position to kind of complement Justin Fields' strong play style compared to Russell. Russell used to be kind of like a Justin Fields. He used to be a Justin Fields type player where he used an arm and his legs, but now he looks to be more. He doesn't run as much as he used to because, you know, obviously he's getting older. He can't do that stuff anymore, but Justin Fields is still in the time of his life. So I see for Justin Fields to have a really good game. George Pickens is as well, hopefully. And Najee Harris, I think I'm hoping to see a really good year out of him, and I hope that Pittsburgh actually re-signs him after declining his player option this year before the season started, because Najee Harris can be a really good running back under the right situation. Obviously, people like Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles, on the other hand, oh my God, did he go nuts. After the Giants, watching him leave and go to the Eagles and then having 3 touchdowns in his preseason, in his Eagles debut was absolutely insane. Really well done by Saquon Barkley, and hopefully he can stay healthy this year, because I think that's always been his problem, is that he is a good running back. He is a solid running back, but he's just always injured. I mean, he's got injury. He's very injury prone, and which is always kind of the issue, but as long as he can stay healthy this year, I see for him to be a good running back for the Eagles. Same thing with Minnesota's running back, Aaron Jones. I could foresee him being a decent running back, trying to prove that he deserved to stay in. Trying to prove that the Packers shouldn't have let him go. Same thing with Derrick Henry. Yeah. I think so far that's all I've got. In the NBA news, Jamal Murray signed a huge 4-year deal, which he played out of his mind in the finals. Yeah, they were in the finals. Who'd they lose to, though? Boston. Yeah. Jamal Murray the last 2 years have been playing out of his mind, so very well-deserved contract. Congratulations to you on winning that, on getting that huge extension. I look forward to the NBA season this year. See how Kal-El Ware does, but other than that, football news, let's hopefully having a day, and I'll try to make another video on Tuesday about the NFL and our record, and look for our picks for week 2. So, like I said, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I will put more details out once I figure out a good schedule on what I'm doing and what I'm more going to be doing. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be sports-wise, but I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate every one of you that tuned in. But thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. And let's have a good Sunday football! So hyped. But as I say here at DNN TV, stay classy, don't be trashy, and enjoy the rest of your day. Deuces!